This is not us making this up. This is actual reporting of Jerry Jones talking about being a general manager. I've done it all, okay? So I have an inordinate amount of confidence that, if anybody can figure out how to get this shit done, I can figure out how to get it done, John said. I've been there every which way from Sunday. And have I busted my ass a bunch? A bunch. And there's nobody living that out cutting and out shooting that can give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no. There's nobody that could fucking come in here and do all the contracts and be a GM any better than I can. Now, Jerry, congrats on talking your shit.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Think about the decades and decades of the people and fans saying Jerry needs to get his hands out of the team's business. Ever since Jerry has started running things, we haven't been good. He got rid of Jimmy, and then nobody's able to check Jerry. And Jerry's just got his little fingers and everything. He's making decisions. He's drafting from the yacht. He's cutting people. He's negotiating deals. He's calling plays sometimes. Shit, he will get out there and throw the ball himself if he wants to. That is what people say. That's why the Cowboys haven't been good. So if this is a new interview or if this is Clarence Hill Jr. writing about something that happened back in the day, it's like, shout out to Jerry Jones just finally telling everybody, hey, eat shit. Just want to let you know that. AJ, how do you feel?
Oh, my goodness. Good morning, good people. Got to get my coffee in. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as the Funky Chicken. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I don't know about you, but I am excited that this is finally draft week. I am so sick of all of the potential trades, the likeliness, the odds favorite, the crazy scenarios, the out and out lies, the bullshit things that are coming up. Whatever happened to integrity? It's like everything now is meant to provoke a Dallas Cowboy fan. I don't think anybody gets baited into articles like us as Dallas Cowboy fans. I mean, do they talk about as many trades? Because here's where it's crazy to me. Here's where it's crazy. Did you know that Brock Purdy and his people turned down a $266 million offer from the 49ers?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Now, we don't know what was in the details of that contract. Okay, it could be that, yeah, we're going to offer you $266 million, but we're only going to guarantee you $1. So it may sound like a great deal on the outside when you think of $266 million, but you don't know what the guarantee money is or anything like that, or what you got to do to get that money. And we probably will never know. And typically, when an organization says, well, they turned down, they're saying that to be, to let you know that, hey, we're doing our thing. And it may be that it's a crappy contract. Kind of like the Randy Gregory one, which literally said to the Cowboys, had language in there, was if you get busted for something in the NFL, we can go for you for past money you earned, even if you played great the year before. And that was a bad deal, and that's why they walked away. And Jerry Jones, of course, is like, yeah, El Paso. Okay, all right, be that as it may, you understand where I'm going here. But the thing is there's so much bull crap articles and things out there. For example, we're hearing right now that Jalen Ramsey to the Dallas Cowboys, odds makers have the Dallas Cowboys at 3 likely destination, because of course the Cowboys always make these great big moves for players. They're always making gigantic trades. No, here's what you have to understand. Here's what they do. With Vegas, it's not about being right or wrong. What it's about is keeping the numbers about even. You want more people to bet, especially if it's something that's not going to happen. Let's be clear here. The Cowboys are not going to trade for Jalen Ramsey. He's, $30 million that's owed to him or something or other for this year. And he's in his 30s. It's too much money. It's too much. Now, granted, Miami is trying to shop him around, but Cowboys aren't going to do it. No, they're in a youth movement. The oldest players on the roster right now are Dante Fowler, who's 30, and Dak Prescott, who's 31. All of their signings and moves have been for guys that are younger. They are trying to make the roster young, coach them up, and hopefully keep them together for a couple of years to get better each year, to have consistency. You don't do that with aging veterans. So day after day, or actually hour by hour, we keep getting inundated with all of these crazy proposed trades. Now, what you have to understand is none of this comes from the Dallas Cowboys. None of this comes from the Dallas Cowboys, with the exception of Jerry Jones, talking about how, Travis Hunter, he's an intriguing player. Of course he is. Nobody looked and said, well, we can't draft him, so he's not intriguing. No, that's not how it works. But none of this stuff comes from sources from the Dallas Cowboys. This is somebody sitting around like me, but I'm not doing them, sitting around like me and saying, hey, here's a crazy one. How about the Dallas Cowboys are trading and contract negotiations with the Cleveland Browns to trade him, even though he has a no-trade clause, and if he was to lift it, why would he lift it for Cleveland? And then the next thing that kills me, and I don't mean to single out anybody, Momo, but this whole thing of, how bad Micah Parsons is, the amount of hate that he gets. It is, and being called a loser. I tell you what, I wish I could be that kind of loser, that I got a podcast and I'm president of Beats Bleacher Report. I am on a historic pace in sacks, that I'm about to get paid $40+ million a year. I'd like to be that loser. I would literally like to be that loser. And it's kind of hard to hear people who aren't anywhere close to what that man is doing at his young age say, you're a loser. Okay. Now, I want to revisit something. This was about 5-6 weeks ago, the Dallas Cowboys checklist. Now, I believe that the Cowboys have actually done decent things, that they have plugged holes and are going to create competition. As much as we'd like to be able to go out and say, let's go out and get all-stars at every position, it doesn't work that way anymore. And with the salary cap, which is a deal, which is a thing, now the Cowboys make things worse by waiting and sometimes not necessarily getting good contracts. Be that as it may, nobody has all-stars on every spot on the roster. The Eagles would be the closest to that. Be that as it may, let's go back to the checklist.
Cowboys history has opted to retire, sources told our Todd Archer. Martin met with owner and general manager Jerry Jones on Thursday to inform him of his decision. Martin was a 9-time Pro Bowler selection in 11 years with the Cowboys and first-team All-Pro pick 7 times, which puts him in some elite company with the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys lost one key player, but good news, salary cap expanding next season, of which Micah Parsons gave us the LFG when he quote tweeted our Dan Graziano. The cap will have increased by more than $53 million over the next 2 years. Okay, so we're going to play a game with Bill Barnwell, Fit the Bill. You're going to give us a 5-step plan for the Dallas Cowboys to fix them. I'm impressed you can do it in 5 steps. So fit the bill, starting with 1. Bill Barnwell, take it away.
Number 1, we are re-signing Micah Parsons. This one is easy. He's one of the best defensive players in football, and we're actually going to reduce his cap hit from $24 million on his 5th-year option when we do re-sign Micah Parsons. You're starting there on the defense. Obviously, he's going to get a big contract, but you want to keep your stars around. Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons are your 3 stars on the defensive side of the football. Number 2, we are moving to add some salary cap space here. We're going to restructure Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. This is going to create, this is not an exaggeration, this is going to create $60 million in cap space for the Cowboys. Those guys are sticking around. They're your core. Whether Cowboys fans like it or not, Dak Prescott's going to be there for years to come. Add the Micah Parsons restructure. We're looking at probably $65 million in cap space. That's a lot of money to work with, and we're going to need it for steps 3, 4, and 5 in this plan. Step 3 for the Cowboys. We are adding help at receiver. All the moves they've made have not worked. Haven't invested much in the draft since CeeDee Lamb was taken in the first round. Their moves would be veterans. They moved on from Amari Cooper. They traded, or they got rid of a bunch of Brandon Cooks traded for. They got Michael Gallup and re-signed him. That didn't work. Adding a Deebo Samuel to the mix gives a big body, physicality the Cowboys have not had in their offense in several years. He's tormented the Cowboys himself. Deebo Samuel would be a great addition as the number 2, not the number 1, but the number 2 next to CeeDee Lamb. Number 4, the offensive line needs to be replenished now, especially after Zach Martin was retired. Running back, I know Cowboys want to add a guy. Maybe they draft someone. Rico Dowdle's been good, 12th in rushing yards, 4.6 yards per carry last year. But there's a big hole in offensive line, which is 27.
You could kind of say they did that one
next year. I would look at Trey Smith, that star Chiefs guard, a plug-and-play replacement for Zach Martin, a big body, a great run blocker in the interior. Cowboys teams have always been good when they have good offensive lines. And then you flip it. Number 5. This is not the sexiest option, but we're looking at the defensive line and that defensive tackle rotation. We're looking at pieces here.
All right, so there you have it. Re-sign Micah. Well, it's in the works. Restructure Dak and CD. Check. Add a second playmaker next to Lamb. Well, it's not going to be Deebo Samuels, but you can best believe they're going to get a wide receiver in the draft. Upgrade the O-line, not the running back. You can say that we've brought in Sadiq Charles in there and Hakeem, some other guys. We literally have 15 offensive linemen, I believe, right now on there. And you can say we've definitely added depth to the defensive line. So there's really – we got 3 of the 5s. 3 of the 5s. Now, as we hear from Stephen Jones, it is not completely done. Now, back to the craziness. Last night, I was seeing an article that was like Dallas Cowboys could get rid of bust draft pick on the defensive line. And they were talking about trading Mazi Smith. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Mazi, who was injured his rookie year, he was bad the first half of the season. But I will dare say he was bad with Micah Parsons out, with the defense being bad in general. But what I will say is when Micah Parsons came back, that Mazi started playing better as the season went on. Let me look up real quick because I think they said he rated out at 35 on Pro Football. I know at one point he was rated as the worst interior defensive lineman for like the first game or two. But understanding that he had a new defensive coordinator, that came in. He rated out as 207. Now, he was 219 when the season started. So that means he actually got better as the season went up. And you could say that he's a disappointment in being an interior defensive lineman. But all of these things go together with the defense. You can't expect one guy to play outstanding when the whole defense was terrible. When you don't have linebackers that are healthy. When you don't have other guys that can help stop the run. We keep trying to take one guy and say, we suck because Micah Parsons isn't good enough at stopping the run. Well, there's 10 other guys out there that need to be part of stopping the run. I don't see anybody else out there stepping up in pass rushing other than Osa and Digizua. So you have to understand collectively, as the defense is better, players play better around each other because we are all tied together. If Micah Parsons can get upfield, then that helps Osa because you have to double team him. You can't double team everybody. And so I'm not ready to move on from Mazi because I'm not, one, sure what the trade value will be for Mazi at this point, where you have 2 more years of him actually being cheap. So when you start hearing some of these stories, it's kind of like, sorry, that one doesn't bode well, because we don't have too many people on the interior defensive line. We just don't. And we don't have enough ways to supplement what we have at the moment. To just say we're just going to trade away Mazi and take a ham sandwich, you're not going to get much more than a ham sandwich back. So now we got another one of these, the nightmare scenario for the Dallas Cowboys, okay? And so this is, of course, being talked about. Oh, my God. The Cowboys, of course, Ashton Genty would be the dream pick, okay? And then you have Tat McMullen, who is a big body, jump ball type guy who would definitely be a great compliment for the Cowboys, okay? So the nightmare scenario would be is both of these guys are gone before we get there. And then there's Matthew Golden, who a lot of people have pointed to. Now, the thing with Matthew Golden is it sounds like he had a streaky season, and towards the end where he could have kind of been the icing on the cake, he kind of disappeared when they were playing against Ohio State. So there is is he really one of those top-tier guys? So here's an article that's on DallasCowboys.com and SI. Dallas Cowboys into the draft with wide receiver and running back as their top 2 needs early in the process. Boise State running back Ashton Genty appears to be the favorite target, but that's changed with the draft approaching. Arizona wide receiver Tat McMillan, I don't say his whole name, Tat is the shortening of it because I can't pronounce the whole thing, has become the logical option for them. The 6'4", 219-pounder would be a perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb while giving Dak Prescott 2 big-time playmakers at the position. There's a chance McMillan could be gone. However, the Cowboys when the Cowboys make their selection at 12. The same could be true for Genty. He probably will be gone as well because he could be gone as early as 5 as some are rejecting. I think Pete Carroll will definitely want to be the guy to get him. The nightmare scenario for the Cowboys, if both were taken before they're on the clock, he states that would leave them without someone to help Prescott. Ashton Genty and Tat McMillan are both gone by pick 12, overall leaving them without an obvious skill position candidate to support Prescott from the get-go. With less than ideal, they might not be an actual nightmare for Dallas. In fact, the scenario might be highly probable, and the Cowboys would have 2 options to salvage tonight. The simplest fix would be selecting Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden, which we just talked about. Dallas has shown interest, of course, and he isn't as dominant as McMillan, but would give them some much-needed speed. He's got a lot of speed, and he's supposed to be a great route runner. They don't want to take him. They could trade down, which is something I think that we've all discussed, and I love that idea. If you don't have somebody that you believe is really, truly high on your board, if you have the opportunity to move back and get some more picks, the more picks you have, the better your chances of getting a guy that's really going to be great, okay? It's a crapshoot. Half of these players, doesn't matter if you draft in the first round or second round or the 6th round, it's a crapshoot. Half of them will be bust. Dallas is even considering Ohio State offensive lineman Josh Simmons, who wouldn't fill their need for a playmaker, but still give them a solid player, number 1. So that's the nightmare scenario. And it's more than likely that it is going to happen. So the question is Matthew Golden the guy to get you over the hump? I don't know. And that's going to be up to the Cowboys and, the brain trust to figure out who is the guy. All I know is we got to do better in these rounds than we have in the past because we've been killing ourselves. We have been killing ourselves the last 2 years. We need to get playmakers from day one. Now, at least we're not in a position of like the Steelers, and I keep talking about the Steelers because of my good friend Richard, who are literally held hostage by Aaron Rodgers. I think they just need to say the hell with Aaron Rodgers. I think they just do. And this is the wild card in my mind. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't finally say before the draft, hey, I'm in, you basically have a gun to the Steelers' head on what can they do or what will they do. So let's listen to Rich Eisen and his opinion on this.
Put up the Steelers' schedule if you don't mind. We keep returning to this, and it's the truth. And we're going to find out. That's, by the way, post-draft, the next big thing is the schedule. I've received some dates.
Early May.
So have I.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Well, Chris got sources, though.
Well, I'm a Rams season ticket holder.
As to when the schedule may come out?
I've gotten an email from the Rams
to say what?
Be prepared. It's either the May 13th, 14th, or 15th.
And I have received dates in the week before and the week after from NFL Network saying, well, what's your schedule looking like?
Okay.
So, with all due respect to the Rams as well.
All right.
This schedule with the NFC North and the AFC North and the AFC East on it, is it more interesting to you with Rodgers or Mason Rudolph or some rookie that we don't know yet starting it? Come on, right? Please, end of story.
I mean, it's people who love stories. You're a master storyteller.
That's our traffic.
This is it.
Get out of here.
I haven't gotten the script yet for next year, but I'm assuming.
Look at this. The Jets. Dude, you made me fly all the way out here on my own dime to tell me in 20 seconds something you could have just told me on the phone.
Right.
How's that looking?
You don't know me. You don't know me.
In Chicago? Come on.
Yeah, it's way more fun with Rodgers.
Against the Packers, apparently. In Dublin, Ireland. Against the Vikings, who a lot of people think this is all just performative by Rodgers, waiting to see if the Vikings have a second thought on J.J. McCarthy. Come on.
Oh.
The Bills. Come on. This would be amazing. Rodgers here in Los Angeles taking on the Chargers. Come on. So I hope whatever is happening to Rodgers' inner circle that is serious, I hope those people get through that unscathed.
Yeah, for sure.
Or healthy, if that is what it is. And I hope that whoever he's in a serious relationship with doesn't mind
sandwich?
Fries on our sandwich. On the sandwich.
Little slaw.
There's also very good fish sandwiches at the Oyster House in Market Square.
Keep going. Keep going, because the draft's next year there. Let's get some free food.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, Permanis, we're already in there. Don't worry about that.
There's no other way to put it. So if I'm the Steelers, I'll wait. Because there is no other. We looked at Desmond Ridder, again, with all due respect. That's why Arthur Smith is in Pittsburgh. You think he wants that back in his lap? Oh, no, 2.0 will be better because he got more experience in Arizona. Really? No way. No way. So let Rodgers keep working through what he's working through. They'll make their decisions in the draft. Certainly when Jerry's telling you the idea of taking a quarterback 21st overall is predicated on the defensive lineman they're interested in no longer being on the board. And if Omarion Hampton's sitting there, guess who's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? Him. Mm-hmm. Or Tet McMillan. They want more receivers for whoever the hell is going to throw the ball at some point. And let Rodgers stare at the ocean, go through his stuff. This could easily go into American Century Championship in July. Who's there? It's Rodgers. Aaron, are you going to show up at training camp next week? You think that's not possible? Honestly, as Steelers Nation is freaking out. But by the way, you know who's sitting at home hoping that Pittsburgh calls? What, the 215, right? Is that what it is?
Why am I 412? I just was tripping for a second.
Kirk Cousins. Why not? Make that call. Break that glass. But clearly, if you hear from Jerry Dulac, it's a one-year offer that's not going to blow anybody away for Rodgers. Maybe it's not blowing Rodgers away enough to work through things faster. I don't know. He said it had nothing to do with money. But let's just say it's 1 year. They can draft a quarterback who they like, 21st overall, if that's the way it goes. Can't wait. Love the intrigue
Brockman, did
coming
you keep your
from the
idea?
next spot where the draft is. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12.
There we have it. We do have a breaking story that I need to cover here, and that is Shannon Sharpe is being sued in civil lawsuit, and I will be taking care of that. But let me go ahead and show you guys our latest little piece of artwork that I've been working on. Oh, I don't have the sound on it. Hey. There we have it, our latest artwork that we'll be using for the draft and things. So, as always, good people, you know we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. Peace.
Can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
I've got to